So here's the deal. Those statistics you just saw, I have students who are on the brink of becoming that statistic and desperately don't want them to end up there. I also have students who I know are gonna graduate from high school, they're gonna stick it out, but they already view school as just a hoop to jump through and don't feel as though there's a great deal of purpose in what we are doing in education, and don't find a great deal of drive, or that they don't feel like anything really relates to what they care about, what they're passionate about. And I don't know about you, but as an educator, I don't want to facilitate another hoop. I want to be a catalyst to empower these kids and to send them out to do what they're created to do. So I decided to take a trip out to Silicon Valley and just asking the question of what can we glean from the way you do things that we can apply to education to be a catalyst to move our students.
My name is Xing Li. I've been here at Google for about 2.5 years. If school can sort of instill a sense of curiosity in students, then that'd be great.
The first thing you'll notice when you step foot on Google's campus is this aesthetic. Now, when I say aesthetic, I mean two different things. On the one hand, I mean the environment. So things like the way their buildings are laid out, the spaces that they create on their campus. On the other hand, I mean things like the culture that is there, the emotional aesthetic. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a tour, we're gonna meet my friend Shin, and we're gonna go and see what things from this aesthetic can we apply to school.
So at Google, we have this rule, it's called the Google 150. Within 150 feet of where you sit, there will always be food. Google has a food culture, so a lot of times people socialize and get to know each other over like lunch. Innovation happens all the time, like half the time we're not even sitting at our desks. Like we have a full-on dance studio. And we have personal trainers on campus. So like Googlers are sort of like encouraged to socialize like among themselves and like beyond just sort of like doing work-related stuff. Obviously Google strives to do everything they can to sort of make people comfortable, give them a place where they're proud to work, where they're proud to play. Obviously from a practical standpoint, if I can just come here and get my oil changed, get my dry cleaning done, and also get my work done without having to sort of have all these different things intrude upon the moments when I'm most productive, then that's definitely a plus. So like if Google can sort of keep you in the zone, then it's good for them and it's good for you. I mean, as long as you have good ideas, like those ideas will get surfaced. Also, like if I do something cool, we have like these weekly meetings, I can sort of elect to share that with the rest of my team. Every Friday up on that stage area, we have what's called TGIF. And what happens is like the founders, like Larry and Sergey, they go up there with the other VPs and SVPs. And for the first 30 minutes, they sort of give an update of like what happened this week. But then what's really cool is like in the last 30 minutes, right, it's like a stand-up Q&A. So like Larry and Sergey will stand up there and take questions from the audience, from like the forums that are submitted internally, and like we can ask them anything. All these things at the outset, they all seem like crazy ideas, but you get a bunch of people sitting together that are passionate about it, come together with the support of a company. I mean, you can do pretty much anything. At Google, we like to say like our #1 asset are our people. We are passionate about what we do.
Okay, so right off the bat, you see some of the amazing spaces that they have there that encourage their people to be creative and innovative. You see the culture, and you hear about the ways that the staff and the leadership encourage the team members at Google to think outside the box and to give them a voice. Now the next thing that stands out is something called, I guess I call it, autonomy. They give each individual team member a voice, and they allow them to do what they are passionate about, and they create space and time for them to do that. Check this out.
So there are a couple of things, right? So one of the institutions at Google is this idea of 20% project, which is you work 80% on whatever project you're assigned, but then 20% of the time, if you have an idea that you want to sort of explore on your own, right? You first talk to your manager, and if your manager thinks your idea has merit, it's just like not completely off the wall, then you can basically spend 1 day a week working on this idea. So there's at least like 3 or 4 people that are intimately familiar with the kind of work that I'm doing. I guess Google tries to sort of blend work and leisure into like one thing. So like, because you're creative, your creativity is not set on a schedule. Like sometimes you're creative 10 a.m. in the morning, sometimes you're creative like 2 a.m. at night, right? Maybe like during a lunch break, you got a conversation with a friend at a lunch table, and then suddenly you're like, oh, I need to go do this. Run out to your desk and do your thing. Or maybe you're like, oh, you know what, I'm stuck in a rut, so let me go do something else for a while. We don't work on a set schedule. Obviously, there are practical concerns to be taken into account, but whenever you're creative, whenever you feel like being productive, Google is sort of there to enable you to do that, right?
So the last thing that kind of jumped out at me that we can apply to schools is collaboration. Now, collaboration is something that we are already doing in schools, especially as faculties and staffs, but students don't know how to do collaboration well. And Google, they do collaboration really well. Not only do they create space for it, but the way that they encourage their people to be fluid and to go to different departments and to get help and to rely on everybody's unique gifts, talents, and abilities to achieve their end goal is astounding. So take a look and see what they do and how we can apply that.
Google's a company that's like very open. One of the nice things about Google is like people work across teams all the time. It's not even a big deal. Google is one company and we have lots of different services, so we need to integrate everything together. And so it's highly encouraged that people from different teams sort of interact, right? The other thing is like no one owns a particular set of code. So like obviously you may have expertise in a particular area, but the idea is like if you find a bug in someone else's code, go fix it. Actually, this week is called Demo Days for our team. And so for example, if you think you have some great idea that you want to explore within the realm of like ads, but you just haven't really had time to do it. So for 1 week, what you can do is we start out just brainstorming ideas. Like the entire team gets together in this giant like meeting hall space. We start with a complaint, and then we start just BSing about solutions, like off-the-wall solutions, any kind of idea. Throw it out there, and then people take notes and write down this huge list of 200, 300 ideas, put it into a spreadsheet, right? And then we go back and we can look at the spreadsheet, and if an idea really sort of speaks to you, like really sort of resonates with you, then you go and take that idea and you make a pitch. And if your team thinks, hey, that's a great idea, you get 2 or 3 people together for like 1 week, like this week. You basically do a hackathon. You just like, you don't do normal work, there's no meetings, you just work on that idea. And some of the demo ideas have not only made it into the product, but actually been like nominated as like one of the top 10 achievements at Google. Google is an incredibly collaborative culture, so I may not know the first thing there is to know about setting up an awesome email system, but hey, I know this guy in this other building that just does this for his entire life, right? You want to talk to the guy that does the graphics rendering engine for like Chrome or something. He loves doing that stuff. You want him to help you on a side project, hey, he's all in. So I think we could design a school curriculum around that where people are allowed to have the free exchange of ideas, at the same time still being able to recognize individual merit and individual contributions to like an end product. Everybody here at Google are like sort of like they love learning. They love like self-teaching and like learning things on their own. So it just so happens some people have expertise in one area and some people have expertise in a different area, so I can always just go to them. For the areas of knowledge where I'm lacking or I just really need an immediate answer, I can sort of go to them and I can know like they'll be there for me.
All right, so all of this that you've just seen, to me what it does is it leads back to one key thing that made Google stand out to me. What it leads to is an empowered individual. And so what I see are Google team members, they are doing what they're gifted at, what they're created to do. I mean, their environment creates space to empower individuals to do what they're best at. The culture says, hey, take risks, and we're proud of you, and you have a voice, and that empowers that individual. They give them 20% of their time to do something they are passionate about, which empowers that individual. And in the end, the things that they feel best at can be complemented in the areas where they are weakest by other people who are stronger. This is what I'm looking for in public education. This is what I want for every single student that I work with and that you work with. We can learn from Google, and we can apply that to schools, I believe, through these 4 categories and in these 4 ways. And I think if we do, watch out. Watch out for the ripple effects of things that will happen as a result of empowering our students to live a life worthy of their calling. Join me on this quest.